Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the Tactic Hive Dota 2 Alpha Cup. So, right now we've actually got a stand-in team playing for Triad. They did not show up at the scheduled match time, and so we have a stand-in team waiting around to play their games for them. So instead of Triad, we will be casting No Pucking Way, NPW, versus Report My Team. So definitely gonna be an interesting match. I'm not sure. I don't know either of these teams. However, I definitely know what it's like to just be the stand-in, and sometimes you're not completely prepared. So No Pucking Way is gonna have their work cut out for him. Oh man, my freaking phone is going off. I had my alarm on this morning because this is a pretty early morning cast, so I had to make sure I was up in time to get things going. Alrighty, so getting into these picks here. Report My Team versus No Pucking Way.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll have to see how this is. So, for anybody unfamiliar with the rules of the Tactic Hive Dota 2 Cup, basically how things are going to go is this is a 2-day tournament, and the round robin is going to be played over the course of today, and then the semifinals and finals will be played tomorrow. So for today, we've got I've got a lineup of 5 games going on. These are all best of ones, so a single game. And like I said, the team's playing a big round robin, and by the time we get to the end of the day, the 4 teams with the highest win total will take off into a semifinal best of 3, and then into a final best of 3 tomorrow. So this is going to run all day today between 12 and 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. For me, that is 9 to 4 here on the Pacific Standard, or on the Pacific side of the world. But anyways, so pretty straightforward tournament, pretty easy. No other special rules. Everything else is pretty straightforward. You play Dota, you win Dota, you move on. That's how it goes. So here we go. Death Prophet, Timbersaw, Slardar, Slark and Bristleback all being picked up, or all being banned out right out the door. And No Pucking Way is going to grab themselves the Alchemist right off the bat. Now, it's kind of an interesting transition with Alchemist, because he has taken a pretty huge nerf in 6.8, as this is the new patch. So he's his Unstable Concoction not as good, his Night Range not as good, and he just has a rougher time in general. In fact, I was just looking at the Dotametrics blog. If you haven't checked that out, please do. Dotametrics.wordpress.com. It's a blog where he looks up all stats from pubs from low tier to high tier, and just churns out awesome articles on win rates and hero builds and stuff. It's a fantastic website to check out, or a blog, I guess. But Alchemist, since 6.79C, he has incurred a negative 3.49% win shift. So he is now 3.5% less winning than before. Charlie Sheen would not be proud of this man. So Alchemist having a rough time. Like I said, he's not the support he was in 6.79, but
10 seconds
he's right.
remaining.
He's still a decent hero. I don't think he's worthy of the first pick, but still strong nonetheless. Now, Marana and Abaddon being picked up by Report My Team. This is pretty interesting, because when you go a first pick Marana, usually you want to, or like especially when you get Marana for your second pick. Well, like the second pick of the game, first pick for your team. Because this is the only block during the picks where either team gets to pick 2 heroes consecutively.
10 seconds remaining.
No Pucking Way will grab 1 here, and then it goes 2, and then 1. And then ban goes back, forth, back, or it goes
reserve the time.
Ban, and then they just alternate picks until the end of time. So, in that regard, it is usually best, if you get second pick, to nail out a really good combo with these 2 pickups. Whether that be the Bane Marana, whether that be Shadow Demon Lina, whether that be who knows, Crystal Maiden with a mana-intensive offlane or something like that. And so generally you want to make sure that you grab those two in that pick slot. However, Report My Team going to grab that Abaddon, who doesn't really set up Mirana for anything, and he's still a strong support in all regards. So, I mean, these are two picks that I don't hate. Like, I definitely love them, but like I said, they are wasting a little bit of their drafting potential by not grabbing a combo hero for that Mirana, even if Mirana is going to another lane, even if he's going to the off lane, even if he's going to mid. It's still very beneficial to grab another support and then, you know, ganking mid or Mirana ganking bottom. It all works out a lot better. So now we see, after No Pucking Way has picked themselves up the Clockwork, they ban out the Bane. So that is no longer an option for Report My Team. Like I said, Mirana's still a fantastic hero without the setup. She doesn't need it, but having it just makes everything nice. So, Doom Branger is banned out by Report My Team. Fearing up that Doom a little bit, I do believe Doom really roughly counters Abaddon, because Doom will disable Borrowed Time, or borrowed time. So with that on the board, it is a lot easier to kill Abaddon, and you know, he's not that frontline annoying piece of crap that he usually is. So
Dire Team ban.
Now, we see the next couple bans coming out here. Storm Spirit for No Pucking Way. Fearing that one up a little bit. Perhaps going to be running that Clockwork on a mid-roll. That Storm does really well against Clockwork, and he just does really well in general.
10
so
seconds remaining.
perhaps mid-Clockwork, that might be a tell, but you know, nothing guaranteed. Clockwork is still the epitome of the offlane, so we'll have to see what they choose to go with for
Reserve
that.
time.
Report My Team actually cutting into the reserve time a little bit here for their second their second ban of this phase. Really making sure they want to get rid of whatever they feel will be a massive hindrance. I would be looking at the Crystal Maiden right now, because they've got a mana-intensive offlaner, as I said. She combos really well with the Alchemist, and she's just a strong support in general. So she's definitely probably high on No Pucking Way's pick list here. So we'll have to keep that in mind as we head forward here, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, what are these teams going to look to do? So, Report My Team already looking towards probably a defensive tri-lane. Well, actually, no. Never mind. I shouldn't call that too early. Abaddon can function on both aggressive and defensive. Actually, maybe even more so on aggressive, just because of the way his shield and miscoil works. Either way, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Their tri-lane hasn't shaped up yet. I still have a feeling this Mirana is going to be off lane with this OD pickup. So OD will probably be heading to the mid and Mirana to the off lane, and then we'll see a tri-lane fill out with that Abaddon. Abaddon might even be the carry. Who knows? That would be pretty interesting to watch. Not seen very often, but I've seen it a couple times. Now Viper picked up by No Pucking Way, so making sure they have that lockdown for the OD. Not really lockdown, but just something to shut him down in lane. Something to dominate that mid roll and take OD out of it. So yeah, No Pucking Way's got a decent team so far, but I think they're gonna have a rough time. This team is looking pretty obnoxious, and Crystal Maiden is gonna make it even more so. Nobody on Report My Team ever gonna run out of mana between that Arcane Aura and the Essence Aura. So very potent team. I'm still interested to see what their tri-lane's gonna look like, because they're still lacking one. And if that Abaddon goes onto a carry role, they'll be looking for another rather aggressive support, maybe something like an Earthshaker or something. But if they go for another carry, this will be a very safe and defensive tri-lane. And that means they'll take it to their safe lane. Crystal Maiden will probably stack, pull, jungle, and Abaddon will just sit in the lane and throw miscoils and shields onto their carries. So I think they're in a good position. They've got a pretty formidable team, but No Pucking Way not going to stand for that. They grabbed the Lion, the one-shotter of Rylai's. The sniping out that Crystal Maiden with the Finger of Death will be a huge advantage for their team. Now, I actually like this pickup quite a bit. The new and improved Lion is not too ridiculous. I mean, the Aghanim Scepter upgrade is pretty massive, but generally, if you're playing on a hard support role, it's going to be really hard to get that Aghanims unless your team gets fed right off the bat, in which case you're probably not going to lose the game anyways. So it's one of those high luxury pickups, but if you can manage to get it, it could make a difference here. Now, there's nothing really to give them that AoE advantage, or that clumped uppiness, like a vacuum or a RP or even a black hole or anything. So it's going to be harder to... it would be harder for Lion to land that Aghanim's ulti if he got it. I still don't think he will. It'll probably be used for single target elimination, which is actually something that they could very well use against this team. OD is a very dodgy hero if you let him have a space. Like if you don't lock him down, he can astral himself, he can usually force staff away, etc, etc. So if you can blow him up in one shot, it'll work to your advantage. Same with Crystal Maiden, she's a very squishy hero, low health pool. She takes a couple auto attacks from one of your heroes, and then you finger her, she's going to die. Abaddon as well. Lion's damage on Finger of Death is actually greater than the borrowed time threshold. So if you time it just right, the damage on Finger of Death can actually snipe Abaddon before Finger of Time goes off. Now, if you, just because of the way that spell works, is that if you go straight from above the threshold to dead, you do not trigger Borrowed Time. It does not activate and you just die. So, having that Finger of Death is a good way to kind of subvert that, but it's going to be hard to do with Abaddon because... Of course, he'll have shields up, he'll have magic resistance, and you know, if he gets a level advantage, it might be harder to do so. But Bounty Hunter, the pickup for Report My Team. Now I'm rethinking this game completely. It looks like Mirana is going to be on the tri-lane. Bounty Hunter on the off, and OD in the mid. Now, like I said earlier, if you're going to put Mirana on a tri-lane, you need supports to set up her arrow. She's not a very effective hero otherwise. She doesn't have... you know, her stun's incredibly unreliable. I mean, she's got the escape, but her farming potential isn't as great as some of the other carries that you could be putting there, like a Luna, who's got similar range and laning presence, but, you know, she carries harder into the late game. So I think without that setup for the arrow, it's going to be really hard for this tri-lane to really function. Of course, it is going to be safe. As I said, you usually pick Mirana for an aggressive tri-lane, however, this Mirana will be heading to the safe lane to try to farm up and carry this game out. Now, No Puck and Wei grab themselves a Juggernaut, which means that we're going to have a Juggernaut, Lion, Alchemist tri-lane, which could indicate a very aggressive tri-lane. They've got very aggressive heroes, hard to kill heroes, and a lot of ability to just screw with the enemy team. They've got Alex Stun, they've got Earth Spike, they've got Hex, they've got Blade Fury, Acid Spray. So it'll be really easy for this aggressive tri-lane to take advantage of that if that is what they choose to go for. Now, Clockwork is of course their other pickup, who will be heading down towards the or heading off towards the off lane. And for some reason, it is slipping my mind who their last hero was. Why do I not? Oh, oh, Viper. Yeah, Viper. Had a little bit of a brain fart. Like I said, early morning casting, it'll get to you. I got my coffee, but, you know, coffee can only do so much. Yeah, so, like I said, NPW, they're basically aiming to win all of their lanes. That is their goal here. I mean, they've got decent late game, but, I mean, these three heroes are going to combo really well together, and like I said, very aggressive. Should be able to snipe out the enemy's offlane really easily. And even if they end up against a tri-lane, they should have next to no problem. Abaddon will negate some of that with his Aphotic Shield and the Mistcoil, but I don't think it'll be enough to outweigh the damage and stun potential from the enemy tri-lane, but it's something we'll have to see, something we'll have to watch out for. Crystal Maiden, like I said, she's a grand support and has that arcane aura to give everybody mana, which will help Mirana a lot in her game, but she does not do incredibly well without another without another aggressive support. And I hesitate to say aggressive because I don't mean aggressive in the general go forward and kill them, but more a support that uses their abilities on enemies. So Abaddon, he has the Mistcoil and the Aphotic Shield, which are generally used to heal and save allies. He can use the Mistcoil aggressively, and he's still got the Curse of Avernus, but it's really kind of hard to, you know, call him an aggressive hero. So Crystal Maiden works really well with, I mean, Venomancers, with Alchemists, with who else? I mean, Ancient Apparitions works well with Jakiros, people who can get in the enemy's face, and even if you're on a safe tri-lane, you can still have aggressive heroes. Like I said, Crystal Maiden Jakiro would be a very safe defensive tri-lane with aggressive spells. You've got the Dual Breath, you've got the Ice Path, you've got Frostbite, you got Crystal Nova, everything to slow the enemy down, stun them up, keep them away from your heroes. However, the kill potential isn't huge because there's not a ton of damage. You need a carry to do all of your damage if you were in a lane like that. So, like I said, I'm not sure I like the support duo here, but I think it is going to be pretty safe, and they run the risk of losing a lot of kills, but there is also a potential to keep Mirana really safe. So it'll depend on execution here. Now, OD versus Viper in the mid lane, that's going to be a pretty straightforward matchup, back and forth. Both are going to trade pretty evenly, and we'll probably see a kill or two come out of that lane because that's just the nature of both the heroes. If they get an edge, they'll try to get ahead and snipe the other person out. But for the most part, it should be pretty even. It should go back and forth. Both players just kind of trading blows here and there. Now, Clockwork will probably be heading down to the safe lane because, as I said, I'm guessing this is going to be an aggro tri-lane here. So with Clockwork heading down here, he will be up against a Bounty Hunter, and that itself is a pretty even trade. If Clockwork gets himself Dust or Sentries really early on and gets a good cogs out on the Bounty, he'll have he might have some kill potential there, but otherwise it's going to be just cogs and rocket flares getting traded off for Janatas and auto attacks. So, like I said, both heroes probably going to trade pretty evenly. Like I said, I don't expect that that lane to go completely completely without casualties. But, you know, it is still going to be pretty passive for a while here. Get the announcer turned off. Oh, man. I hate these 1 minute pauses, man. Every single game, you just got to pause for a minute. It's like a ceremonial thing in Dota. If you don't pause at minute 1, your team is doomed to fail. But, I don't know. Anyways, yeah. So, late game potential for both these teams. Let's look at this. Let's look at that. So, we've got Bounty, OD, and Mirana, both going to be the late game heroes. Now, Mirana, still not a fantastic carry for the sake of late game. You know, she does work really well. If she gets a Desolator and a Manta, she can dish out a ton of damage, but that usually requires her to get an early lead and snowball into it. Now, as she's generally an early game character, she focuses a lot on using Starfall and her Sacred Arrow for her damage. Now, the damage on these abilities is good. It's 300, 360 at rank 4, but it's going to be hard to, it's really going to be hard to take advantage of that in the late game, where teams are clumped up. It's going to be harder to hit arrows, etc. So, the real damage is going to be coming out of OD, who, of course, we all know OD. He does damage. That's pretty much all he does. Just Arcane Orb and that Sanity's Eclipse. Really going to take things out. Now, Bounty Hunter, depending on how he builds, he can be very utilitarian in the fact that he can grab a Vlad, a set of drums, etc. Or he can go just straight for the damage build and go Desolator into, Desolator into Monkey King Bar into whatever the hell he wants. Now, interesting development down here. We've got Alchemist and Lion heading down towards bottom, so it looks like it will be a safe tri-lane for No Pucking Way. And we've got the supports with the Mirana heading down towards the off lane for RMT. So the exact opposite teams doing the exact opposite things that I thought they would. So, alright, whatever. The tri-lanes are still going to meet up, and I still think it's in favor of No Pucking Way, but it's just going to be on bottom lane instead of top. Now, I actually don't quite understand this, because, like, I mean, Frostbite, you can use it to set up the arrow, but its duration isn't long enough for a Mirana to walk into position, fire a full range arrow, and hit it. So it's a lot harder to set up. And then other than that, really all you've got for damage or stun combos is... Actually, you got nothing for stuns. And the rest that you have for damage is Starfall and Mistcoil. So not a fantastic aggressive tri-lane, I'm not going to lie here. I do expect them to lose quite a few kills if they try to get too aggressive here. I mean, especially against this tri-lane. I mean, if you go on an Alchemist and he charges up a full stun, you're going to be in for a hurting here. And the Lion, of course, Earth Spike and Hex, just going to make your day hell. So I think the aggressive tri-lane might not be the best idea for RMT. I think at best they should have gone safe and leave it up to No Pucking Way to make that lane happen, which they didn't want to, so interesting developments here. Now they do spot that the Juggernaut's here, but they don't know that Alchemist or Lion is yet, so we'll see if they try to go for it. Lion hooking around from the side. Abaddon's going to spot him out now, so it has been seen that we are doing a tri-lane versus tri-lane here. In the top lane, like I said, both these two heroes going to trade pretty evenly. Same on the mid lane. The real action's going to be down on the tri-lane. So I'll try to keep tabs on this, but like I said, at any point a kill could break out in the other lanes just because of kind of the nature of the heroes. Lion getting chased off here by the supports. Stun getting charged by the Alchemist. They're ready to go on this, and it flies out onto the Crystal Maiden. But oh man. I think that definitely could have been a kill if there was a Hex follow-up on top of the Blade Fury, but they're not feeling confident in going quite yet, so instead they just back it up. Crystal Maiden now regen to full because Tangos heal her for, 20% of her health every 2 seconds. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but she's got a really small health pool. Basically what I was trying to say there. Now, let's pull up the last hits tabs here. A little early to call anything, but Juggernaut and OD and Clockwork leading the boards right now. Mirana a little further behind, not having as great a time, and Viper not having a good time either. Has no mana, doesn't matter, you don't need it. Mirana grabbing a quick Bassy Ring, so her team's got that mana regen down on this bottom lane here.
Oh no!
And good things afoot. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the action to break out here. One team's just got to make the move. The other thing about this lane too is that No Pucking Way has a fantastic level 2. Acid Spray into Unstable Concoction and then Hex into Earth Spike is huge damage, huge. And I mean, Juggernaut doesn't have really anything for level 2. He's got Healing Ward, but I mean, he hardly has enough mana to use that anyways. I'd like to see this Lion pulling the wave right now, and then pulling them back out and trying to get a kill, because like I said, oh my god, okay, so we got a Frostbite out on the Alchemist. He gets stunned up right away. He does get the stun off onto the Mirana before he falls, but the first blood goes to the Crystal Maiden. Juggernaut up here trying to make something happen, but he doesn't have the Healing Ward down. He falls as well. So I stand corrected. The aggressive tri-lane picks themselves up a couple kills. Now, I think that kill happened because the Mirana was already in position when that Frostbite came out. I mean, Mirana was standing here, Crystal Maiden was standing here, and Alchemist was standing here. It was just a matter of Frostbite and then point blank arrow. Oh man, Clockwork picked himself up a kill. Like I said, grabs himself a Sentry Ward, gets himself down Cogs and Battery Assault, and does finish off the offlane Bounty Hunter in a matter of moments. So, definitely good kill for them up there. Definitely something NPW needed. And like I said, I think this tri-lane is... I still think it's the weaker tri-lane, but in that scenario, Alchemist still sitting on a pretty low health pool as he's a lower level, and eating that direct Frostbite into arrow was a little bit too much. He did get his stun off, which is good though. He channeled it before that arrow hit him. Ping's coming out. They know there's a ward here. We'll see if that gets sentryed off. It probably will. Juggernaut struggling to find his farm now, not able to move up in the lane as the supports have left him. Mirana taking the lead there, grabbing herself 6 extra CS on that Juggernaut, 7 now, up at 14 and 9, just behind the OD who is 18 and 15. Clockwork grabs himself a double damage, steals that from the OD, and he's sitting on a Arcane Orb, which will probably become Arcane Boots. Now Smoke Ink up on the mid here. We'll see if they manage to get this out on the OD, but if OD has Astral available. Actually, he doesn't now. He is toast, I think. Alchemist charging a stun, going for it. Is he going to throw it? Oh my god, he stunned himself underneath the tower and is taking tower hits. That could have been disastrous, but the Abaddon coming in now. Astral goes out onto the Viper. See if they can pick them up here, but Earthspike says no, and that will be it for that gank. I thought that Alchemist might even drop there. That was really close. You gotta... I don't know what he could have done there. I think it was just a matter of OD playing down to the side of the lane and staying out of the range of the unstable concoction. Moving back down towards mid now. Alchemist has no items to his name. Literally none, just a set of tangos. And oh man, Juggernaut taking a lot of damage here. He gets frostbitten and a creep goes, but Mirana jumping right underneath the tower, dropping the Starfall, trying to get the auto attacks out to finish his Juggernaut off, but she doesn't manage to. Alchemist comes in from behind, drops that stun on the Crystal Maiden, Hex goes out, Earthspike. Looks like they might be able to get this kill here, but the Magic Wand keeps her alive for just a mere moment, and she does fall to Acid Spray, I believe. Actually, I think it was Acid Spray up until that point where she walked out of it and it creep sniped her. So she was killed by the Dire, and assist gold goes to both the Alchemist and the Lion. 2-2 is your kill score here, just previous to 6 minutes, or just pre-6 minutes here. Smoke being purchased up by that Alchemist does manage to grab himself some boots with the gold from that kill, so that will be a huge benefit to him, allow him to gank a little bit easier so that what happened in the mid lane a moment ago does not happen again. Now Bounty Hunter, he's got track up, he's got level 6. He's going to roam towards mid, finds himself a regen rune in his stealth. They're not going to find a rune, so I wonder if they'll read that that was picked up by the Bounty Hunter. Doesn't look like they do, and Viper moved himself up really far. He is toast for sure. Clockwork can come in, he does hook, but I think that's going to be a losing battle. Yes, it is. Janata finishes that kill off onto the Viper, and Shuriken flies out and gets the Clockwork. So I don't think track was up on Clock, but it was definitely up on Viper, which means that there's some track gold coming out for Team RMT. Something we'll have to keep track of during the course of this game, as track will give you some... track will give you a lot more gold than your kill total would normally suggest. Now a Lion a little bit far forward here, being spotted out by a Dire Ward, and he could very easily get caught here. The arrow does miss. Bounty Hunter does not get the track out, and he's going to hook into the trees and back around to his tower. So close call, but he does manage to get back there. Bounty Hunter looking for some action, hiding in the trees, and yeah. Anyways. Bounty Hunter hooking behind the tower here, looking to see if he can find anybody. There are only 2 heroes there against the 3 of RMT. Crystal Maiden now rotating in, but Alchemist Abaddon heading back out towards the river. So now we got Bounty Hunter finding himself a Lion, but Earthspike says no once again, throws him back, and Lion gonna head back underneath his tower. He's not gotten any points in mana drain, so that means that all he's got mana for is one more spell. He does eat an arrow. Starfall comes in, finishes him off. Oof, he can't be running into those Mirana arrows. Big blunder there. Alchemist trying to knock down this Crystal Maiden, and Juggernaut not sure if he should go forward. The hookshot misses, Juggernaut falls, still looking for the Crystal Maiden. No, she gets herself away, salves up, and Alchemist might be in a lot of trouble here. Clockwork is in, looking for some action. He has cogs available, but he doesn't want to use them to get sniped off by those cogs. In the top lane, OD got himself that invis from Moonlight Shadow and a double damage, so he could very well jump on this Viper here. We'll see if he does. He just gets the Astral off and returns to farming creep. So, the story of this lane, we'll have to see in a moment.
Mine.
Anyways, on the bottom lane, Abaddon farming himself up now as that Mirana is back at base. She returns now with a finished Ring of Aquila and phase boots up on her. So she's doing pretty well. Like I said, she does operate well as a carry, but not as well as some other carries. So she'll have to really work to make her mid-game presence felt. And if she does, then it'll be a lot easier for them to make the late game happen. Now, D-Ward coming out here by the Crystal Maiden, and they are not in position to punish her for that. Actually, they definitely could have if she was there, but... Anyways. Mid lane here, we got Bounty Hunter coming in with that OD. Gonna look to see if they can get that Viper, and it looks like they're just gonna hard dive it. Oh man, that Sanity's Eclipse finishes him off in a matter of seconds. And there he goes. So 7-3, your kill score now at 9 minutes 30 seconds, and this track gold is making a huge difference as it stands right now. There's a sentry ward just placed, so Bounty Hunter could be in a lot of trouble if he walks up. Yes, he is visible to the enemy team. Are they going to do it? He throws out a track, hook shot in. Do they have vision inside these cogs? I don't know. No, not anymore. Ooh, that was close. Alchemist stunned himself. They're looking for the Bounty Hunter, and cocky little bastard there says thank you. They now know there's a sentry there, so Bounty Hunter's a little less safe to run through there. Bounty Hunter grabs himself a haste rune out from underneath that Alchemist, so they know he's in the vicinity, but he's not doing too well for health, so he's probably going to run back to base with that. Abaddon hiding in the trees, Lion doing the same, both supports just hanging out. We got a disconnect by the Juggernaut here, so we're likely to see a pause. Yep, there we go. So pause comes out. We've got 10 minutes, 30 seconds of your game time, and I think usually a little bit early to check out the graphs, but I'm going to look at them anyways because we can see the impact that Track Gold has. 4 kills and not a single tower destroyed, and RMT is up for 5,000 gold. So I mean, they've been farming a lot better. Admittedly, if you look at the last hits and denies here, it is pretty heavily in their favor, but that doesn't account for 5,000 gold. What accounts for 5,000 gold is these 4 extra kills and 3 or 4 extra tracks that have gone out to everybody else. So definitely taking an early advantage, and if that continues into the late game, no pucking way is going to have a really hard time. I love this mask for Juggernaut, man. I picked this up in a chest a while ago and couldn't be happier. It's a really cool mask. Too bad I never played Juggernaut. OD now farming up the jungle. He's got himself a Hand of Midas, so he'll be accelerating in those levels pretty damn quickly. Curious to see what the Staff of Wizardry is. He's 1 component away from a Dagon, however, I don't think that's going to be the choice. The Null Talisman's more casual, and he'll probably be heading towards a 4-staff instead. Abaddon run through creep camp for no damn reason, and then running back, so just taking unnecessary damage. TPing mid now to try to help out in this gank. Bounty Hunter did get himself caught out a little bit. There's another sentry ward down on the board, but no full kills going out, and the Astral goes out onto the Viper. They're looking for him. He is going to drop almost for sure. Clockwork is there, but I don't think he can make anything happen. A lot of damage goes out. Oh my god, he gets underneath the tower. The Cog's disrupting just enough. Viper turns around to try to fight the Bounty Hunter. Bounty Hunter does fall underneath the tower. There it goes, and damage being juggled perfectly between no fucking way. So they managed to survive for now. OD on his way out grabs himself a Midas creep, and I don't think he's going to get caught out here. Whew. That was looking ugly for both teams for a second, and Viper just barely manages to survive. They get a kill on the Bounty Hunter, so high value target. They get 3 kills to his name at that point, so it's a little bit of extra gold. Yeah, 400 gold to his name, so, or 400 gold for that kill, so. Bounty on Bounty Hunter, pretty decent.
Top tower is under attack.
Juggernaut's struggling to find levels. He's level 5 right now, and the opposing Mirana is 7 already. Has had Moonlight Shadow for quite a while, and Juggernaut being underleveled is the last thing you want. It means he's got. Oh my God, they are going on this. Lion, misses the Earth Spike. He's gonna hex up the Bounty Hunter underneath the tower, but there's so much damage coming out. They needed TP support to make that one happen. So Lion's gonna fall, and another kill goes the way of RMT. Alchemist waiting in the wing, not charging a stun quite yet, but just making sure that he is available there. Invis, Crystal Maiden, and the Bounty Hunter roaming around in the jungle here. The Sentry Ward does not provide any actual vision, so without something to spot that out, nothing's going to happen there. Now they're rotating in the jungle, looking to see if they can find someone. Crystal Maiden going a little far down here, but not going to find anything. Now Bounty Hunter probably spotted up by that tower there. Viper knows he's there. I would just turn an ulti, man. You got nowhere to go. There he does. And oh my God! The Bounty Hunter does drop in the mid-flow. We'll finish off the Viper, so trade there, but oh, Clockwork, man, just barely missed that hook right in between his own creep and the Abaddon. A little further to the left, a little further to the right, he would have had a better time there, but no bueno. And we got another disconnect by the Clockwork, so no pucking way. Plagued by disconnects right now, and not the way to start off a game. It really throws off your rhythm in a game when you have disconnects and pauses like this. Yeah, Clockwork's back, so it's just a momentary disconnect. But
Radiant's
Bottom tower goes down. This is
has
the
fallen.
first tower of the game to fall, and Mirana gets that kill. So she's sitting herself on 3,000 gold, looking really well off in this game. Like I said, she needs that early to mid game advantage to really actually function as a true carry in the late game, and you know, she's getting it here. So mid lane, we got a oh no, never mind. Oh, we had a kerfuffle. I thought on the mini map I saw somebody in the middle of all this, but not the case. As Phase Boots finish up on this Alchemist, so running a little faster yet again. Probably going to work towards that medallion with that Sage's Mask. And so he's a pretty poor guy right now, but he's starting to work it up. Oh man. Oh man. Wait. What? Where was Juggernaut? I just farming top. Just got solo killed by a bounty hunter. Okay. I'm watching the lane where I think there's going to be action, and stuff just happening everywhere. Mirana's still farming up on that bottom lane, 3,400 gold to her name. We'll see what she chooses to do with that. She could go for Manta, she could go for, I mean, quick Monkey King bar if she wanted, anything. Borrowed time being popped off here by that Viper, and Lion taking a handful of damage, but not going to fall. Having borrowed time unavailable is always a pain in the butt. It's a little tip for Abaddon players out there when your ultimate is triggered, and Viper gonna drop, and they're looking for it. Clockwork hooks in, gets Cogs on 3, and a great Alchemist stun is gonna assist in that. Oh my god, so much damage. Mirana and Crystal Maiden both falling. OD gonna follow shortly thereafter. There's a Sentry Ward down, so they can see this. They're looking for the Abaddon. He is really low. He's got a magic wand to his name, but he needs to pop that off now to avoid getting popped off by a rocket flare. Oh my god, so close. 3 heroes down for RMT, and this Clockwork, man, what a set of cogs. That was beautiful. Oh man, this is going to be a rough tower defense. I think this tower will fall with the incoming creep wave. So as I was saying, for Abaddon players, if you trigger borrowed time, and you know the enemy team backs off, you don't really have any damage, just throw a miscoil out on someone, anything, a creep, an ally, a enemy. I mean, it costs you a little bit of mana, so there are some circumstances where you might not want to use it, but it will damage you, which gives you more health during borrowed time, and will, you know, heal an ally or hurt an enemy, so you can't really go wrong there. And his bounty hunter actually got the deny on that mid tier 1, so he's been playing damn well too. Does get himself a set of drums. He's looking up towards his top lane for kills, but Juggernaut wisely backs off and gets away from there. So Juggernaut now looking at a little bit better standings. He's got himself half of a set of drums, and he's got himself his level 8. So he still needs levels. He still needs to get his farm up. He's really behind because of that tri-lane. 3 kills down. Yeah, he's just going to TP out bottom. Arrow did fly towards where he was TPing, but not there in time. So yeah, he just needs to get himself some farms, some levels. His team needs to create space for him. And, hopefully he can still become a factor in this game. But right now, as it stands, he is not. Top tier 1 taking a beating, taking quite a beating here. Abaddon just going to tank it up, but he gets hooked in on. Cogs go down and the battery assault goes off, but borrowed time underneath that tower means he's going to jump right back up to full health. Borrowed time is off now, and so they're looking for both him and the Mirana. He's going to fall with one more auto attack from the Viper. Are they going to follow this up and go on to the Mirana? Maybe, but OD shows up. He says, no for you. And Viper not having enough damage. Alchemist throws the stun before he gets hit by that arrow there, but the Astral will dodge this stun. Crystal Maiden hiding in the trees and dropping down that freezing field. Astral and Sanity's Eclipse goes down. 2 heroes dying really quickly there, Lion and the Viper. Still looking for this Alchemist underneath the tower. Janata going to hit him in a second here, and that'll slow him up. He's charging a stun, but not going to mean anything. He just, yeah, I think he actually stunned himself and hit a couple people there. But anyways, Mirana grabbing herself a fast Desolator, so she is doing fantastic and will be shredding through the enemy's armor. 9-15 your kill score here. 18 minutes, 5 seconds into this game, and like I said, quite the lead being taken by RMT. Yeah, we're looking at a pretty similar gold advantage to what we were looking at last time we checked the graphs, and it jumped back up because of a couple kills and a good, some decent farming by MPW. But oh, this is XP. This is XP graph. My bad. Sorry, I thought I clicked on the gold one. Yeah, so we're looking at a 5,000 advantage in the favor of RMT. So doing good, doing good. Now in the gold, yeah, okay, so this is a lot more than I expected. I was kind of confused before, but 12,000 advantage. So with those 6 extra kills, as well as that track gold, they're really doing well off for themselves. Like I said, CS just out of control. Viper not getting anything to speak of here. I mean, their highest farmer has half the CS of the second highest farmer on the enemy team, so that says quite a lot about how this game's going down. Looks like Viper is going straight towards the Aghanim's. Not going to go for that Mech Aghanim's build. Probably going to leave that for one of his supports, but his supports are ridiculously squishy right now. Lion, or not squishy, but under-farmed, under-leveled. Lion only just now hitting level 6 at 19 minutes. So pretty rough. Alchemist now has a medallion, so he's going to fare a little better, but can't trust that too much. Juggernaut about 100 gold away from his Drums of Endurance, so that'll give him the stats he needs to really stay into this game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
We got a hook shot in on this Abaddon. They're going to go on him. Gotta be really careful about borrowed time right now, though, because they're going to dish out a lot of damage, and you don't want to kill him completely twice. They do let the borrowed time wear off, and he falls. Viper does get that kill, so good pickoff. They needed that, and no. They might lose a tier 1 tower for it. You got a fort TP if you want that. They do have the Fortify available, and everybody has TPs, but they don't decide to go on that. I definitely would have tried to defend that. There were only 2 people attacking it, and in best case scenario, you would have gotten a deny as well. Mirana's still doing really well off for herself. Got 1,800 gold in the bank as well as that Desolator, so probably going to be looking towards some attack speed, perhaps a Yasha.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, she's going to be scaling really well, getting a lot of gold to her name. Bounty Hunter chunking down the top tier 2, and things are just kind of peeling apart for no fucking way right now. They're having a really hard time, maneuvering and reacting on the map right now. The Juggernaut's getting shut down a lot, and they're kind of playing reactionaries, or they're not playing as reactionary as they need to, I meant to say. But now Fortified TP comes in towards the top. Viper does eat a full duration arrow, but hook shot in on this Bounty Hunter. They're going to look for him, but they don't have any true sight. Rocket Flare actually going to miss, so they do not pick off the clock. Or the clock. The clock does not pick off the bounty. There's Crystal Maiden actually sitting on a pile of gold here. 1,800, and yet to decide what she's going to spend that on. See in just a moment.
Top tower has been denied.
Top tower denied for the Radiant, so a tower denial for each team right now. Looking pretty good. OD, crazy farm right now. 140 at 21 minutes. It's pretty darn good for a mid laner. Now, I thought I saw a gem pickup. Yeah, we do have a gem on Alchemist, so they're gonna try to avoid that Bounty Hunter, keep their team alive, roll as 5, and use that gem to their advantage. So this could be a turning point. Like I said, bounties tend to have a really rough time if they get on a death streak, and a gem on the enemy team is pretty much the best way to do that. So if he gets a little bit cocky, it's Crystal Maiden. Oh man, we had a hook in on the Bounty Hunter. They do manage to catch him out with that gem, so another death, or 1 death to his name, means that he's gonna have the beginning of the end for Clockbrew, is what we'll say here. Roche being done by Report My Team now, so looking towards picking up that Aegis, and there is no vision for the other team. The Rocket Flare is going to fly in, they know it's there, but they're all on the other side of the map. There is no way they're going to be able to stop this. The flare might be enough to deter them. They are kind of backing up out of the pit, but I think that's more to juggle damage. Yeah, this Roche is completely gone. They're picking out the top tier 1, saying, you know, oh, let's trade, but that's not going to mean anything. Mirana now has a Yasha and the Aegis, so she's going to be dishing out mad damage and probably not fall for any reason whatsoever. Now there's pressure coming out on the tier 1, but there's already TPs to negate this. Crystal Maiden having a Blink Dagger means that the Freezing Field's going to do a lot. If she blinks into trees like right here and pops off that Freezing Field, she's going to do a lot of damage in this big AoE. Now Arrow hits on the Juggernaut, and I think they're going to follow this up. Mirana jumps right in the middle of the fight. Starfall starts knocking this down. The Viper ulti goes out on her, and she's actually going to fall. The Aegis gets popped, but Abaddon dying, and in exchange for 3 heroes on the enemy team. Clockwork is going to hook back in. Might actually find himself a Crystal Maiden here. He does. Crystal Maiden's going to drop, but Aquaman's going to drop on the back line to the carries from RMT. And with that, that is a full team wipe. The gem gets dropped, 5 heroes dead, and things not looking good for No Fucking Way. Not looking good at all. Heading in towards that 2 or 3. These guys are such trolls, man. That Crystal Maiden, I was laughing at her earlier because she denied a haste rune right as Abaddon was about to pick it up, and now OD just astralling his own team for no reason. Pretty goofy. Pressure on this tier 3 might not. Yeah, they're not gonna force the issue. Instead, they're gonna head mid, try to knock down another tier 2 before they go for it. Bounty Hunter now grabs himself a set of bots, and he's holding on to that gem. I don't know if I agree with that. You should probably send that one back to base. There's not much of an advantage that that's going to give you against the enemy team, and if that gets dropped, you can be in trouble. Anyways, Sanity's Eclipse drops on the entire enemy team, and Clockwork the one to die, not the Viper as I expected. One hero going down, the Juggernaut throws out his ultimate, but not enough, and with a Starfall, that will be a 5-for-nothing wipe. Yep. So, GG call by NPW, and I kind of don't blame them. It's been a downward slope for them, and ever since those track gold kills started coming out, like I said, this steady decline from a pretty even game at this point, but that's how it happens sometimes. So, RMT, Report My Team, picked themselves up an early win in this tournament. As I said, this game was supposed to be scheduled for Triad versus Report My Team. However, No Fucking Way was a stand-in, as Triad failed to show up for their match in time. So, we'll have more action coming up in just a moment. I don't know the scheduled time. I believe the scheduled time for the next game will be, what is that in Eastern time? 1:10 Eastern, I believe is the time. So we will get things underway then. I'm going to throw up an overlay. I'll be back in just a moment for more Dota 2 action on the Tactic Hive Alpha Cup. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you soon.